Hey guys, we're here at the Brazilian national team's training session. It's the first training of the week and before the debut, right? Also, after that game that happened in Cleveland against Egypt. And we're here following along. I think the big news is the arrival of Ederson right after Wesley was cut. And we also have the presence of the press here at this first training session. And it's important to mention the weather too, right, man? The weather is wonderful. We captured footage of the players coming in. Paquetá joking around with Bruno Guimarães. He took part in the press conference today and talked about Lucas Paquetá. Yeah, you can really see a strong bond between these players. And we also saw that when Wesley got injured, when that commotion happened, all the players went over there to take care of him, to talk to him. Hendrick, for example, was one of the first to go and stay by Wesley's side. And really, it was a moment that moved a lot of people. And we have this sense that the Brazilian national team, at least, is a very united group, right? And once again, we're bringing you these images from the training session. Now, here's the thing, guys. There's a statement about Neymar saying that he's making progress. That was another important piece of news for us to share. We can only spend about 15 minutes at the training session. Our reporter Gabriel Orfon is there filming, and now you can watch the footage from the session. But the good news is that there has been progress. Neymar's recovery is also the great hope of the fans, right, as the star player that Brazil brought, but Neymar won't be able to make it through this World Cup. It's very hot, it's a physical issue and everything else, but he's the great hope of the Brazilian fans, right? Just like Hendrick is also emerging, we noticed that many Brazilian fans, the comments are that this kid has an aura, right? The image that went viral of the number 19 jersey turning into number 10 also moved the Brazilian fans. What people talk about the most, I think, in these last few days is this image of Hendrick with the jersey turning into a number 10 jersey. Yeah, I think it is. It's unanimous that the Brazilian fans really root for this kid, really root for Ryan, Paquetá, Luis Henrique, Danilo. Now, one important thing for us to mention here, right, while Brazil is training back there, it's that even with all these requests from the fans for more opportunities for Hendrick, for Danilo, Luis Henrique, and so on, even with Wesley leaving, which I think really changes that right side a lot, right? In fact, we know that at certain times the Wesley's presence could mean that some of those players the fans want wouldn't get to play. Paquetá himself. Without Wesley, he'll have to play more on the right. So there are a lot of situations now. One thing I want to mention here is our investigation regarding what many fans are saying. I saw Cracknedo talking about it. I saw about the issue with Vini Jr. and Rafinha, that there's no courage to bench Vini Jr. and Rafinha. What am I going to say about that? Yeah, Antelope, that's already clear. Even in the press conferences, that Antelope, he considers these players, these two players, two of the top 5 players in the world. So it's unlikely they won't start. It's unlikely that Vini Jr. and Rafinha will stop being starters. However, I noticed something about Antelope. He will take advantage of the heat, the physical aspect, right? The heat in the United States, the Europeans who are not so used to this heat, except for the French team, which has many Africans and naturalized players, but they will use it. I have no doubt that Antelope is thinking about this. So the fact that sometimes he starts with Vini Jr. and with Rafinha, even with the fans asking to give opportunities to others, it doesn't mean that just because they're starters and all. This tactic might end up working because you'll have these extremely physical players like Luis Henrique, Danilo, and Hendrick. Paquetá, who I don't know if he'll start, but Paquetá, and there's also Thiago, who might start. But these extremely physical players coming in exactly when the European teams are getting tired, right? When they're feeling the effects of the heat. You will now see images here from the Brazilian national team's training, the first session of the week ahead of the opener against Morocco.
A Flamengo player arriving together with Gabriel Martinelli for today's training. More players arriving. There's Ibanez and Luis Henrique coming in. Look, Lucas Paquetá together with Bruno Guimarães. Good morning. Good morning. What? Vinícius Júnior, Léo Pereira, Bremer, and Fabinho. Good. Thank you. Look at our team.
Léo Pereira.
Léo Pereira, Paquetá, Vini, come here.
Junior.
Mengo's crew is coming. Look, there's Ederson. First images of Ederson arriving. You can already see Gabriel Martinelli with Ederson, who came to take Wesley's spot, already here with the Brazil squad.
There's Ederson. Look, first images giving a playful slap on the neck. Look at that. They're getting along well there with Bruno Guimarães.
National team players heading to the backfield. Players, look at the image. Look at Nanette in front and over there. Also Leo Pereira together with Marquinhos, goalkeeper Everton, goalkeeper Alisson, and also goalkeeper Ederson, right? Now you have to specify that there are two Edersons, the midfielder and the goalkeeper. Awesome players who could... National team players back there, look. There he is, look, our homegrown player passing by. In the center of the image, the goalkeeper Leo Nanete, U20 world champion goalkeeper for Flamengo, two-time U20 world champion. Actually, he won against Olympiacos and against Barcelona. He's here, right? On the Brazilian national team, the players are over there doing activities, warming up. Let's focus a little here on our sheriff, Leo Pereira. In the center of the image, speaking with Alexandra, the Flamengo defender Leo Pereira is there along with Banhas. Luis Henrique is over there, Danilo Santos right, the Botafogo player, Lucas Paquetá, Fabinho, Vinicius. These are players from the Brazilian national team training here at Red Bull New York's training center. There, look guys, over there is Fabinho in the center of the image and Lucas Paquetá right there, look. Players from the Brazilian national team, look. That's Danilo over there, right? He's a bit far, but it looks like our Danilo from Flamengo. Pereira from Flamengo was a fullback, right? Before coming to Flamengo, he was a fullback, became a center back, but in the World Cup, he will play as a right back. Danilo, just like Ibanez, right? The tendency is that Ibanez will also play as a right back since the only right back was Wesley and he ended up being cut. I'll also focus a bit on the goalkeeper training Alisson Beck is doing here. Carrying out his activity, the goalkeeper from Liverpool, England. These are players from Brazil getting ready for the match against Morocco, and the players are continuing their warm-up over there. Just a reminder, the forward Neymar Jr. is not on the field. Neymar is not training here with the other players. Can you see Igor Thiago, Douglas Santos, and Lucas Paquetá? The CBF released an official statement today about Neymar, and he is not on the field today. They turned on the water and started irrigating the other field here. There's an amazing facility here at Red Bull New York in the city of Morristown, New Jersey, United States. Just to add once again, Neymar is not on the field. He's the only one missing, right? Of course, except for Wesley, who has already been cut. Let's go. Thank you. More footage of Flamengo's players. Not requested. You can postpone it. Now it's a little harder to see because of the water spray, but the players are doing their first warm-up exercises here at the training center. And over there, look, with his little yellow cap, the coach, Mr. Carlo Ancelotti. Over there in the center of the field, while the players are more to this side, doing their warm-up exercises, we can see Ancelotti talking over there. Once the press leaves, the Brazilian national team will actually start their tactical training session. Now in the center of the image is Tafarel, former goalkeeper and current goalkeeping coach of the Brazilian national team. What does he have there to do his job? Alisson Becker, Ederson, Everton from Palmeiras, and that one there, Leon Nanete, goalkeeper of Flamengo's under-20 team. Two-time U20 world champion Leon Nanete. And look, there's Everton. Now he's doing reaction training here. Grêmio's goalkeeper, right? Trained here, I did well for you. And now it's time for our homegrown player, Leon Nanete. Let's catch a bit of Leon Nanete's training. Good save by Leon. He placed the cone there. Another solid defense. Solid, always very solid. Leon Nanete, the under-20 goalkeeper for Mengão. A little more of the warm-up activity back there, look. Casemiro, Hendrick, Fabinho, Gabriel Martinelli. These are players from the Brazilian national team getting ready for the start of the World Cup. Matches against Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. In this group stage, if they qualify right for the next stage, Brazil will face... Probably, right? We know that in the World Cup, anything can happen. But the tendency is for Brazil to face either the Netherlands or Japan. But just a reminder, anything can happen. We might have surprises. But if we follow logic, Brazil will face the Netherlands with Virgil van Dijk and Mathis Depay, or the Japan national team. The players of the Brazilian national team over there look now doing another activity. And here in the center of the image is Ederson, a player who he was recently called up for this World Cup, replacing the right back Wesley from Roma. He's here with the group with Igor Thiago and Fabinho. Juan Santos, right? Former center back. From Brazil's national team, from Flamengo at International. He's here too. Looks like Marquinhos. Rafinha. They're national team players. Look here. There's another group over there. There are, look, Léo Pereira, Matheus Cunha, Lucas Paquetá, and Luis Henrique, Bruno Guimarães, and Vinicius Jr. That's the other group nearby. See? With some Flamengo players, with Leo and Paquetá. Vinicius, who came through the academy. Danilo Santos, he's over there. Hey there. Look, that's Vinicius, a former Flamengo player. Leo and Paquetá, who are at Flamengo. And Danilo Santos, could he be a future Flamengo player? That's right, only time will tell. Thank you. This way, coaching staff in the middle. They're players, the goalkeepers of the Brazilian national team. Alisson, Ederson, Everton. Who is the one in goal right now? And Raul Nanete, goalkeeper for Flamengo's under-20 team. A little more of the activity here. Look, from this group is playing keep away, juggling the ball, Leo Pereira, Matheus Cunha, lots of skill. From Mengão's defender, Leo Pereira. With him alongside Matheus Cunha, Bruno Guimarães, over there. At this moment, the CBF informs that the press must leave for the national team's training to continue.
Yeah, we're going to ask you to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications by clicking the bell, and leave a cool like on the video. And now Ederson is going to pass this key here with his official name, Ederson, the midfielder, Ederson Silva. All right, that's it. Thanks.